Hi, Joanna Hodorowska here, Nutrition in Motion, Nutrition for Body, Mind, Spirit, and Sport. So I work a lot with athletes and help them get over their GI issues. And a lot of times the GI distress, it's not always just what you're eating. Sometimes it's more about how it is that you're eating. And a lot of us are stressed now with a tight schedule, Zoom meetings back to back, the kids are at home, everybody's at home, and you feel rushed when you're eating. And when you are stressed, your body's in a fight or flight state and digestion is actually suppressed. It's kind of like, when you're in a state of stress, the body doesn't think that digestion is a priority. The other issue is, are we actually chewing our food into a puree so that our body can actually digest the food properly? So last week I was talking to a client of mine, and literally in the middle of the conversation, they were complaining like, oh my God, my stomach hurts so bad. Like, I'm just belching, I'm burping, it just feels so uncomfortable. So I started to ask her some questions and asked, okay, well, what did you eat? Oh, I had a piece of pizza. And I said, well, I know you've had issues with pizza in the past because of the wheat and the gluten. Maybe, you take your digestive enzyme for the gluten and see if that works. But I also asked a couple more questions like, okay, so tell me about how it was that you were eating. Give me a rundown of, when you had lunch, because a lot of times it's that stress that is happening that is creating a way for us to rush through our meals. And that's exactly what happened. She was rushing through her meals like, oh, I only had this tiny window to eat. I'm just going to go ahead and eat that pizza. But then she remembered, like, what, wait a second, but I had pizza, when I was on vacation and it was fine. So is it really the pizza, or is it that they rushed through the meal just before noon, before our conversation? And that is typically what happens to a lot of us. We are actually feeling rushed. We are feeling stressed. And our body doesn't really process food very well when we are under stress. So one of the easy things, and this is one of the 5 mindful eating principles that I try to work with my clients through. And this is actually a really easy one. So one, you have to carve out enough time, whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes is probably more ideal, but carve out that 20 minutes so that you can actually eat. And you can set the table, keep it calm, keep it nice, get the devices out of the way so that you can focus just on eating. But the next part is, I want you to actually take a breath through the nose, count it in for 4, try to breathe into your rib cage, maybe try to fill up into the back of the rib cage, hold it for 4, and then exhale through the mouth. And then do that, however many times you need to actually calm down and you can actually feel your body going from the scattered place in your head to you feel grounded and you feel present. When you are in that place of being grounded and present, you can actually focus on chewing your food. Because a lot of times what happens is when you're rushed, you chew 3 times, grab a bunch of liquids, swallow it, and the body is not actually designed to digest chunks of food. And that is actually what is causing a lot of those GI issues, is that inability to take the time to chew the food into a puree. So here's another little exercise that I want you to try. Here is a small cashew. And you can do it with anything, but I want you to actually take it, eat it, and see if you can actually chew it into a puree. And this requires time. But you want to make sure that you are chewing your food into a puree and giving yourself ample time to actually chew your food, enjoy your food, and then your body will digest your food better. And the likelihood of having GI distress is going to pretty much disappear. So if you have any GI issues and you would like a way to work through them so that they don't bother you every day or a couple times a week, then give me a call, Joanna Hodorowska, Nutrition in Motion, Nutrition for Body, Mind, Spirit, and Sport. I'm still chewing. So this is how long it can take. Keep going until it's actually in a puree and it's the consistency of baby food. Let me know if this works for you and post down below how this technique worked for you.